Now, panic gripped parts of the city this morning as over 40 private schools across Bengaluru received bomb threat emails triggering large-scale evacuations and intensive security checks. Well, that is the big breaking news that we're getting you at this point in time. Among the affected areas were R.R. Nagar, Kengeri and several other localities where school administrations acted swiftly by evacuating students and staff to ensure safety. Authorities confirmed that the threats were received via email, prompting immediate response protocols. Local police teams rushed to the scene along with the bomb disposal squad, which carried out thorough inspections of the premises. As of now, no explosives have been found, but searches and verifications are ongoing. Police officials are treating the incident with utmost seriousness and are working to trace the source of the emails, and more updates are expected following the forensic analysis of the threat communication. My colleague Mohammed Wajihullah is joining me live right now to get us more details. Wajihullah, good morning. But it seems that this morning many parents may have woken up to some serious concern of their child's safety at the schools which received these bomb threat emails. We are given to understand that the verification of this email is underway and the protocols are being followed. But take us through what exactly is happening on ground.
Absolutely, Samia. It is shocking this morning when schools received this threatening email. Close to 40 schools in Bengaluru have received this email. And these schools are schools like Bishop Cotton's, the Sophia's, the Fab, Baldwin's. And these are big schools along with Presidency and various other schools have received this. And if you see the content of the threat that has been received, it looks like it is somebody who was going through a lot of mental disturbance. And in his tweet, in his threat email, he's clearly written that he's been suffering with a lot of psychological problems, and none of the psychiatrists have actually been of any help. And he's going to make everyone suffer like the way he's going to suffer, and he's going to laugh. So it looks like a very sinister plot done by somebody who's going through a very tough time. And the email also comes from a very unknown handle which says roadkill at atomic.io. So you can clearly get to know that it is from a very encrypted email that it has been sent from 40 schools have been sent. The police is searching thoroughly in most of these schools, and they're trying to reach to other schools as fast as possible. We'd seen a similar threat last month also in a particular school called Clarence, and investigation for that also going on. Last year, close to 100 schools had received such email. But at most of the time, it gets difficult for the police to find, because the source of the email is something which gets deleted in the large world of web. And that is where the police will still find it difficult. But as we speak, search operations are going on in most of the places. Yes, it is a panic-driven morning today, Sana.
Well, Wajihullah, this is not the first time around that schools in Bengaluru have received threat mails like these, like you have just mentioned a short while ago. But have the schools managed to build any sort of a safety net to distill and filter these emails, or try to put some security protocols in place in tandem with the local police?
From what we've understood, yes, there are such systems placed, but those systems don't actually work when it comes to emails. It does work when it comes to hacking. When somebody tries to hack the system of the university, the colleges, the school, an alert is sent, and the antivirus wall is also strong, which does not let any infiltration happen. But when it comes to email, it is random. It is open for everyone. Anyone can send emails. So these threats are happening through emails. We had also seen how threats had happened when people had hacked website and written messages on those websites, threatening messages. But this one is through an email, and that is where the things get tricky, because the source of the email is something that gets lost in lost in the air, and it becomes very difficult for the police to investigate this, because there are multiple levels at which the emails come from. And in this case, also, it will be remain to see seen how the police will be able to get to the bottom of it, because in most of the cases, the police have not found any headway with regards to such cyber crimes and such emails because of this encrypted. There are certain cases we got to know that a certain particular software was used in one of the cases in the past when the police tried to get in contact with the company which had made this email browser, and the company denied to share any information, saying that it is encrypted and they will not be able to go. So these are the hurdles that the police come across when they try to find who is the culprit behind it. In this particular case, it looks like somebody who has had a very tough time because of the main things that he has mentioned in the email. Samia.
Absolutely, Vajula. Thank you for getting us all those details. We shall keep coming back to you to get more on the story. Now, it's not just Bengaluru, but over 20 schools in Delhi also received bomb threats on 18 July in separate incidents. The first bomb threat was reported by Richmond Global School in the Paschim Vihar area of Delhi. Upon getting the information, Delhi police and the fire department rushed to the location. Abhinav Public School, located in Rohini Sector 3, has also received a bomb threat, and officials say that an investigation was underway. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by L.N. Rao, who's the former DGP of, DCP of Delhi. Good morning, Mr. Rao. Thank you for taking the time and joining us over here at News9. Now, we have been seeing this, Mr. Rao, time and again. There are several schools that receive these bomb threats. There seems to be a pattern of sorts. In many cases, it looked like it's a case of certain students trying to do a prank. But in the larger context, is there a way by which these schools can be protected against these bomb threat emails that many a times appears to be hoax, but we cannot really ignore them?
Good morning, ma'am. This is really a very shocking, and again, this type of hoax calls are being received by the school. And this is something very strange. And then in Delhi, in one of the cases which we have worked it out, we found that one student of the school was involved in these prank calls. And no doubt the police cannot take these calls as lightly, because they have to be very serious about all these matters, and that the impact of such calls are that the schools are being vacated, and the bomb squad and dog squads are put into service by the Delhi police, by all the police where the calls are being made. And that is a great loss to the school education, as well as the resources of police are also being misused. So coming to the point whether these calls can be stopped or by the school agencies, it's very difficult, because such calls are being received through the emails, and then after tracking these emails, ultimately the culprits are being traced in some of the cases, and some of the cases those are not worked out. So it's very difficult to stop all these prank calls, because in fact in the recent past I don't think that there any call was real call. These are all false and fake calls, and ultimately police has to close down that thereafter, taking all the appropriate actions, appropriate measures to detect those if there is any bomb in that school or not. So that definitely I think the mental situation of the persons who are doing these calls, that is to be seen by the police investigating agencies. And I think that stern action only can stop all these measures, because this in law there is no stern provisions of the law that if somebody is caught in such type of cases, that any person can be detained for a longer time. Moreover, if these calls are being made by some minors, then our law is saying that the minor cannot be arrested in these type of cases. So this is very difficult to in front of the police, as well as the administration, as well as the school authorities, to prevent such type of calls. But however, definitely we have to take action as per law, and we need to be very alert. And only solution of these problems are that the parents, guardians, or any other persons who come to know that such person is doing such calls, he should be stopped doing all these things. Only that this is
Next
the
question, Mr. Rao. As far as these hoax calls are concerned, it appears that more than the responsibility of the police per se, it has to be a collective social responsibility between the school, the parents and the police officers. And of course, if there are certain minors who have already been held accountable for these particular mails, there is some sense of counseling that should be carried out on regular basis to instill a sense of discipline in these students, so that in future these mails can be avoided.
Yes, I agree with you. That's only concentrated efforts of the and concentrated and coordinated efforts with the school, parents, and the children, and whosoever is found guilty of such, maybe a minor or maybe an adult. He should be counseled. Not only he, then the public and at large should also keep vigilant about such callers, and so that they can be prevented from doing such fake calls, which are not only harassing the students from their studies, but also misusing the resources of police and all other paramilitary forces. Sometimes we have to engage the paramilitary forces also because of some big threat call or to some airports and the airlines and so many other places, not only to the schools. So all these things should be stopped herewith, and the mental mind of such callers should also be think about it, that we are not achieving anything out of it, only the adverse view of the public as well as the damage to the resources of policing and other administration.